Good morning and welcome to ATN Blowout. Blowout is a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversation on special interest topics, news, events and stories through correspondence reports, experts' opinion and stakeholders' analysis. Today we'll be looking at these stories. Anambra State, 6 officers detained for extorting trader of 200,000 naira. Lagos State, jungle justice a criminal offense, police warn residents. In Borno State, bomb explosion hit Maiduguri. Middle East activities, federal government activates evacuation plan as crisis worsens. And in governance, Senate declares Magnus Abe as NUPRC board chairman. Civil servants demand 154,000 naira minimum wage and 120% review. We are open for advert placements, bookings and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X, Atlantic TV Net. Also watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. We're going for a short commercial break. When I return, I will introduce my guest for today. Welcome back, still on ATN Blowouts. Joining me this morning is one of our faves, Ehianacho King Jr. Good morning, King.
Good morning.
How do you do?
Very well.
All right, are you prepared for me today?
I must say yes.
You must say yes. Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right, let's get into today's stories. Anambra State Police Command has detained 6 personnel of the Okpoko Police Division, Onitsha, extorting a victim of 200,000 naira using a POS operator. The arrest followed a widely circulated video of the incident where the wife of the victim narrated how her husband, a drink seller, was allegedly harassed, handcuffed and extorted after being stopped by some policemen while returning from Relief Market, Onitsha, where he went to buy drinks with his bars. Reports gathered that the incident occurred around the ever-busy Upper Iweka axis of the Onitsha-Akwa Enugu Expressway over the weekend. In the video, the wife of the victim said her husband was intercepted under the Upper Iweka flyover in Onitsha by police officers who demanded the particulars of his vehicle, which she said he presented and were found to be complete and valid. She said despite having valid particulars of the vehicle, the police personnel allegedly arrested her husband, seized his particulars and ordered him to transfer 500,000 naira, but he eventually transferred 200,000 into a yet-to-disclosed account through the POS operator to avoid being detained. In a statement released on Monday, the spokesman for the command, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, confirmed that the State Commissioner of Police, Ikioye Orutsugu, has ordered the detention of the 6 officers allegedly involved in the incident, pending the outcome of ongoing investigations. Ikenga disclosed that the officers include 2 assistant superintendents of police and 4 inspectors of police. One of our major issues here in Nigeria is the fact that the security operatives that are meant to protect the lives and properties of individuals are sometimes involved in causing harm and stress and sometimes even financial ruin to the citizens. King, what would you have to say about this unfortunate incident involving our police officers? And how does that look to the global world when it comes to, fighting criminalities in Nigeria and then, corruption in the police force?
Very unfortunate, as you said. The issue of police extortion, as it's not today, we started hearing about police extortion and victimization of citizens. And the case of Anambra Police, it's very unfortunate. And thank God that the Anambra State Police Commissioner is aware of the matter, and I'm pretty much sure that these officers would be made to face the law. And most importantly, citizens should be very much aware of these personnel who in one way or the other want to tarnish the image of the police, the Nigerian police force. Yes, there are good officers over there, but we have seen so many cases where these officers involved in extortion. So how would you first of all carry, okay, let's assume the driver, his papers are not valid and not complete. You shouldn't even involve yourself in extorting the driver or taking him to a personal POS point where you force him or coerce him to make withdrawals. So it's unfortunate, and I believe that if the police personnel in question are brought to book, others will learn from it. And let citizens always learn how to report these issues. They should always learn how to report these issues, because this is just one of the cases that we are seeing. So it's very unfortunate, and I believe that everything will be resolved, and those who are in question will be penalized.
Okay. The new Inspector General of Police, Disu, had mentioned that one of the issues that he intends to tackle, with his resumption of office is the corruption within the police force. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen corruption in the police force.
Yes.
The last time a major protest hit Nigeria was due to the corruption within the police force, the NSAS movement, and we saw how that happened. And we saw a total rejuvenation of the police, including the SARS movement. It's beyond SARS. It was the, it was the anti-kidnapping that were involved in such practices. Now, even our everyday police officers, those on the street that are meant to either deter crime or, see to it that there is law and order within our communities, are involved in extortion. Sometimes, if you notice a major traffic jam or like a gridlock, you'll think maybe something had happened, but you realize that it's just a police officer standing there trying to receive the least 200, 300, 500 naira, from drivers, and that causes a major discomfort to the people. Now, he had said that he wants to root out corruption from the police force. Do you think that the Anambra police trying to ensure or trying to investigate the issue and also arrest these officers involved in the extortion is one of the steps being taken by the Inspector General of Police to ensure that corruption is being brought to its minimum in the police force?
Yes. I mean, which other step? This is one of the rightful steps to take in curbing police extortion among citizens. In fact, this extortion goes beyond drivers, owners of vehicles. It transcends to even what we had in 2020 up to today. In fact, not just the police force. The police is one of the major security agencies in Nigeria. There are other agencies. In fact, I've learned situations where you see some security agents breaking into people's homes, hotels, just to, I don't know what they call it, without permission, without authorization. Even the state command will not even be aware of. If you follow them up, you discover that even the divisional police or the place where they are coming from, their divisional office, is not aware of their operation. So you see police going into people's home, going to people's hotel rooms. People are scared today to find themselves in certain hotels because some person's husband and wife or people who are traveling or whatnot may just want to relax in a hotel, and because you discover that maybe there is this group of boys that always hang around this particular place, they will come there, vandalize everywhere just to make sure that they collect money from those boys, and all in the name of trying to should I say curbing societal vices. Like if you ask the police officer in question, he would look for one heavy allegation against the driver, and let's assume that the driver did not have one of the papers complete. He would use that and hold him and asking the driver to pay money. If the driver refuses, he would use that against the driver. Instead of you doing your work and doing it legitimately, you are involving yourself and denting the image of the Nigerian police force, and which is not a good one. So taking these policemen to bringing them to book and ensuring that this act of theirs stops is actually a nice step by the Commissioner of Police. And I believe that when we see more officers being prosecuted for crimes like this, others will learn from it. Just like you said, just while you're moving along the road, you see a heavy traffic. All you just see at the end of the day is just 2-3 police officers standing on the road, trying to, squeeze out money from public transporters, and which is not a good one.
Okay. Moving on to Lagos State. The Lagos State Police Command has warned residents against engaging in jungle justice, stressing that taking the law into one's hands is a criminal offense that could lead to serious legal consequences. The command urged members of the public to always hand over suspects to the police rather than resort to mob action. The police public relations officer of the command, Abimbola Adebisi, gave the warning in a public service announcement over the rising cases of unlawful attacks on suspected offenders. According to her, mob justice undermines the rule of law and could turn those who carry it out into suspects in serious criminal cases. King, we have a dark history when it comes to jungle justice. Even here in Rivers State, we have the famous Alu 4 case. We've also seen other incidents as well in Onitsha, market mob killings, Lagos bus burning incidents, Ugeli, woman lynching, and what's not, like quite a few. We have a very dark history when it comes to mob justice in Nigeria. One would say it stems from the distrust in our security forces and the slow justice from our judicial system as well. But as a concerned citizen yourself, people taking the law into their hands and then harming individuals suspected to be involved in certain crimes, is that a way forward? Is that the best way to handle such situations?
Legally, that is not. And I think this is from the point where you mentioned the distrust that the society has on the security agencies. Citing the Alu case and the Anambra lady and so many other cases are just few of the popular cases that we've seen. There are many and millions of those cases that are happening every day in the local villages that we are not aware of. And this is totally coming from the point where the police is not doing their job very well when it comes to, dealing with crime. First of all, how swift is the response team in responding to issues like this? That is number one. Number two, how sure are the citizens that these persons that have perpetrated such crime that is very serious, how sure are they that these persons will be made to face the law, no matter how long it's going to take? No matter how long it's going to take. So you see that people commit crime and they get away with it. So the society becomes antagonistic of the attitude of the security agencies, and they go ahead with this jungle. Yes, that does not make it right, but they go ahead with the jungle justice of a team. But that is not the best way to go about this. When you manage to get the suspect, you hold the person and hand the person over to the police and ensure that the person, you follow up the matter just to make sure that there is nowhere that the matter will be maybe kind of swept under the carpet. So at the end of the day, jungle justice is not a good one, and many a times people have taken this law into their hand. There are places, for example, if you go to Ikoku and maybe mistakenly while you're driving or something, you by error or by any means you hit one of the persons or the traders there, what will happen to you there? What will happen? Before, the person may not even die, but what will happen to you there? You won't believe it. That's as a result of jungle justice. They wouldn't want to even involve the police. They would deal with you there. If care is not taken, they will kill the person.
I mean, that's the issue here. Most often than not, they do not want to involve the police.
They do not want to.
That is the stress in the system.
Yes.
That's because they've seen countless times how people get away with certain crimes. So how do we build the trust between people and our security forces to ensure that the mob justice, the jungle justice, comes to an end in this part of Nigeria?
You see, how to build that trust, it's quite simple. The security agencies need to, tighten their belts and try as much as possible to ensure that they respond swiftly to cases like this and handle it the way it should be handled. That's one of the ways to build this trust. And in local villages, like especially in Rivers State, those days we used to hear of OSPAC and all these vigilante groups. So we discovered that when issues happen like this, the OSPAC security will hold the person and they will hand over to the police. And we also see that once the matter is being followed up, every other processes or let's say prosecution processes will begin, and those persons will not go scot-free. But the best way, I think, that would gain that the security agency will gain back the trust the citizens have for them is to ensure that they follow up and make sure they apprehend everybody or anyone who is found in any form of social crime.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. An unspecified number of persons were feared killed, while many others sustained injuries following bomb explosions around Monday Market in Maiduguri, Borno State, and near a security post at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital on Monday. Correspondents gathered that the bombs detonated simultaneously at 7:02 p.m. after suspected Boko Haram terrorists launched simultaneous attacks on 3 military positions across the state. Confirming the Monday evening bomb explosion, head of operations of the Federal Fire Service in Borno State, Mohammed Kafaran, said the agency had deployed its personnel to the scene. Eyewitnesses told that many of the injured victims had been evacuated to hospitals for treatment. As of the time of this report, emergency respondents had moved to the scene of the bomb explosion for rescue and assessment operations. The bomb explosion came after suspected Boko Haram terrorists in the early hours of Monday launched a simultaneous attack on 3 military positions across the state. King, would you say these Boko Haram terrorists are becoming bold by the day? They attacked, or their targets were military-based positions or military positions. And in order to carry out these attacks, they detonated various bombs across Borno State in Maiduguri, which saw to some casualties and then some, people being injured and whatnot. We've had the intervention of US, in trying to help us fight against insurgency in Nigeria. They even have a national base here in Nigeria at this point. But every day we keep hearing these stories over and over and over again. In your own opinion, what would you say is giving these people so much boldness to carry out their nefarious actions?
I honestly do not know where the boldness is coming from. And, insecurity, it's a global virus. I call it a virus. It's a global pandemic that has eaten many society today. And Nigeria is not an exception to this. Just that very unfortunately, the magnification of, issues like this is very dominant in our society or in our media. But talking about Boko Haram insurgents in Nigeria and their operations, I believe that there is a kind of rapid decrease in the attacks. But condemning the recent attack in Borno State, it's very uncalled for. I mean, I don't know how these boys or how these men, have the boldness and courage to perpetrate this kind of evil in their own society.
But when you say you do not know what's given them the boldness, is this you trying to be politically correct? Because it's come to mind that sometimes these people are being sponsored by some of our political leaders, and maybe that's where the boldness is stemming from. And usually whenever elections draw near, we see such cases because it's being used as a political agenda for these people to win offices or to manipulate their way into offices. So wouldn't this be one of the reasons why they are bold enough to carry out their nefarious actions? I mean, the northern part is a stronghold when it comes to politics in Nigeria.
Maybe if I should align with you, maybe I would align with you on the basis that, some individuals want to, create a very wrong impression about the current administration. Or some opposition want to create a wrong impression in the mind of the people about the current administration. Looking for something to hold on to say that this is where the president is not doing very well. And one of such places is the insecurity in the state, especially in the northern region of the country. So, affiliating these attacks on politics or politicians, it's not purely a lie, but I would not say that I am aware of the politicians who support or who engineer these Boko Haram attacks on citizens. I wouldn't say that.
But when you say for this administration, are you trying to say that it's only during this administration that we've seen this sort of events happening? It's been happening since before this administration.
Yes, it's happening
when PDP was in power, when APC was in power.
We have noticed an intentionality of this occurrence. We've noticed how it's been happening. Do you understand?
How do you mean? I did not understand where you're coming from.
This is what I mean.
If you say an intentionality of the actions, what do you mean by that?
The president is working assiduously to ensure there is maximum security. This is the first time we're having a U.S. military base in the country. Do you understand me? And just to ensure that there is a normal security setting in the society, the president has also appointed a new minister of defense, and there are so many military incorporations to ensure that they curb this insecurity. But when we see the attacks, we discover that these attacks are coming these attacks did not start at the first 2 years of the president. When he was in office, the first 2 years in his office, we did not notice this kind of attacks. But we started noticing it, when people started feeling that the president should not go back for some opposition parties.
I'm not aware of that. I mean, maybe
That's exactly if we should affiliate it to politics.
I do not think if you're affiliating it to politics, it's cool. If you're affiliating to politics, then that means that you are trying to paint a picture that people are against this administration.
No, like people are not against
certain individuals, political individuals.
Yes, just few aggrieved persons that are desperate. Do you understand? That are desperate for, but are just looking for something to hold on. Maybe
what I do not get is you saying that in the first 2 years of this administration, we're not getting such reports.
Yes.
It's some aggrieved individuals who are now trying to what?
Well, let me be very emphatic with my statement. Insecurity in this administration, looked a kind of way last year. Let's say late last year. That's when we started hearing about bombing this, kidnap this, and all that.
I mean, early last year, if you ask me.
Okay, let's say last year.
And it's been happening. The thing is, it's been happening. But the thing about Nigerian leaders that I think many people find a bit is that when it comes to being proactive with measures concerning the people, they prefer a more reactive approach. This insecurity issue had been happening a lot of times. We were hearing reports even before this administration, during this administration's, the first 2 years of this administration and what's not. But it did not come into the forefront until the Pope had to pray people die in Borno State. And prior to the Pope asking for prayers for the people dying in Borno State, we're hearing reports every day, incidents of people being killed in Borno State. But we're not taking, our government was not taking a proactive approach. They were not saying anything about it until the Pope had to call for prayers for Nigeria. And then in a way to salvage our reputation on the global scale, the president now had to intervene and then call in the service chief and ask them to do the needful. So you can't tell me that it was not happening before. We're just not paying so much attention until it got to the global stage.
No. Like I said, people are aware of insecurity in the states or in the country. And like you said, this is not the first time. This is not the only. Even when PDP, they were in power. In fact, there were so much insecurity, so much crisis, kidnapping and all that. So this is not the first time that we are noticing this. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a rapid decrease. There's a rapid reduction to it. Yes, I won't say that there was no bomb attack in Borno State. Do you understand? I won't deny that. Yes, it happened. But we are much more conscious of the fact that yes, there is a decrease in this, and we believe that when we trust this government so much and give President Bola Ahmed Tinubu the opportunity, he's going to fix it.
Okay, I mean, he has just a couple of months before the next elections, so hopefully he fixes it before.
Jagaban will fix it.
Federal government on Monday said it is working out an administrative procedure for the release of funds for the evacuation of Nigerians affected by the ongoing crisis in the part of the Middle East. Decisions comes after escalating tensions in the region, triggered by missile and drone attacks linked to Iran, which have raised security concerns across several Gulf nations. This follows coordinated military strikes by the United States and Israel against Iran on February 28th. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimyebi Ebienfa, said the arrangements for evacuations were ongoing. The update follows earlier concerns over the safety of Nigerians stranded in countries including Iran, Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Qatar, among others, after regional hostilities disrupted flights and travel plans. Last week, the ministry told newsmen that its immediate priority was Nigerians in the most vulnerable areas, particularly those in Iran and Israel, where the security situation has made evacuation more complicated. Another reactive approach by this government. Prior to now, most states have already put plans in place to ensure that their citizens living in these environments.
When you say most states, like
most from the US, I mean, when I'm talking about most countries, US, Canada, they've all put measures in place to evacuate their citizens from these places, Kuwait, Iran, whatnot. Last time I had this, I spoke on this issue. They said Nigerians are yet to cry out for help. But other countries are not waiting for their citizens to cry out and tell them that, please, so come and evacuate us because we are feeling unsafe. Now, they are trying to mobilize funds. It's not like the funds have already been mobilized, and then they're not trying to mobilize funds and then put procedures in place to evacuate them. So how long do they need before the people of Nigeria, citizens of Nigerians living in this vulnerable states, are being evacuated and brought home safe and sound?
Are you aware of the fact that the crisis in Iran is getting higher day by day?
Am I aware?
Yes.
I don't know. Is the federal government aware?
You see, why I ask this question is because evacuating your citizens from another country requires a whole lot of processes. And you don't just take your aircrafts and you go to Iran or Israel and you put all your persons inside the plane and you move them. It's not done that way. There is a series of attacks on international airports, on traveling routes and all that. Do you understand? So we need to allow the government to do their job and do it the most efficient way in order for us to make sure that every citizen that is in such countries are being protected. First of all, you need to get statistics of citizens that we have that are in such countries. How many persons do we have that are in Iran and Israel, unlike US and Canada? There are many of them there, but do we have such large number of citizens like the US and the Canada, as you mentioned? So are you
trying to tell me that the US and then Canadians and European countries have more of their citizens living in these countries than we have Nigerians living in this country? But even if, look, one thing that most people admire about the American government is the fact that even one single American is vital to them. Yes. They don't care that it's just maybe a half American. I don't know if there's like a half human being. No, hold on, I'm trying to make a point here. This issue started from February 28th, February 28th up until now.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, other countries are proactive right from when they...
You can't say other countries and you're excluding Nigeria.
Hold on, I'm not excluding Nigeria. Okay. What I wanted to hear is that we have a plan in place to evacuate. They said we are now putting administrative procedures in place. Yes, hold on. They are also trying to mobilize funds. So from then up until now, why didn't these funds and then administrative procedures be put in place before then? Why are we able to envision some problems before it happens to ensure the safety of the people? Do we have to wait for things to get worse? I mean, I think 2 weeks ago, the federal government stated that they are yet to hear the cries of Nigerians asking for help. Until they hear the cries, they're not going to do that. What if these Nigerians do not have a place or a means of reaching out for help? What if they've been bombed? What if they went there through illegal means? But should that warrant us leaving them behind without protecting them?
Okay, let me respond to you, Antonia. You see, you've actually pointed out the facts of the point, that administrative procedure. You don't know how many of your citizens that are in Iran, that are in Israel. You don't know how many of your citizens that are there. Do you understand? So for you to know that, you need to pass through the administrative procedure, which they are doing. Do you understand? Now this issue, yes, we understand that it's very fast, and since
it's been almost a month.
I know. This 3 weeks now, and we cannot say that other countries have evacuated their citizens and it's just Nigeria that is left. Do you understand me? We can't say that. But we cannot attest for people that we have no record of.
So why don't we have record of these people?
No, you just said something. What if these persons, when they are
illegally, illegal means.
So how do you know? How do you know? Are you Jesus Christ? You know. You are not a prophet.
If governments of Nigeria, whether it's now or later or before, if we're more proactive in our way of doing things, we should have certain data. But I mean, Nigeria is known to have poor data collection. If we had the data, if we knew the number of people that were in these countries, whether legally or illegal means, we are supposed to have that data on ground for such cases, for this kind of cases. I'm not saying the same thing though.
When the issue of deportation started in US, it took a very long process that they had to start getting the data of those who illegally migrated to their country. Do you understand? They need to they had to start searching for the records. Do you understand? And that means that anybody who do not have the required credentials or the required papers to be in US, that means the person is illegally in that country. Do you understand? So for them to get that requires a lot of time. Do you understand me? So we cannot say that the government is quite proactive, and to even put up these measures by this time shows how proactive they are. We are not the only ones in Iran. We are not. Yes, I'm not saying that our citizens in Iran should die there or whatsoever. No. If you want the government to be aware of those who illegally migrated without the consent of the government, then as a journalist, maybe
I should help the government do its job.
Maybe.
I'm helping the government by bringing this information to the forefront.
That is what we are saying.
It needs to be the
information of the illegally migrated citizens that we should care for as well, because
let me make it this way. Let me make it easy for you. We have cases where individuals are trafficked, young girls, young boys are trafficked outside of Nigeria with the promise of good jobs, with the promise of a better life and whatnot, and then they are being subjected to certain inhumane practices. And this happens a lot in the Middle East region. I don't know if you are aware of that.
Yes.
Maybe Libya,
yes.
Dubai, they are being trafficked. So if we have an agency such as NAPTIP that are meant to follow up on these unfortunate incidents, maybe that would be us being able to collect data to ensure that when situations like this happen, we have social number of Nigerians living in this country who are trafficked illegally into these countries due to one promise or the other, right? We can have certain data. We may not have all the facts, all the information, but we can have an idea of what's happening to Nigerians in other countries.
Can I ask you a question?
You can't ask me a question.
No, I want to know something.
You want to know something?
I want to know something.
Okay.
How do you possibly know someone's intention of leaving the country without the proper procedure?
How do I know the intention of somebody? If I'm going to answer this, right? And I'm going to do just this once. From my point of view as a journalist, right? What we do is we investigate, we read a lot, we talk to people. Like today, I'm having a conversation with you.
Exactly.
So the kind of information I get from you will also help me update my database, right? Which is here as a journalist.
You've not really answered.
Hold on. Like I said, in situations of human trafficking, we've had cases whereby people are being trafficked outside countries. You go to certain places, you meet certain individuals, young boys, young girls, Nigerians. How did you get into this country? Oh, my auntie brought me with a promise of job. Even let's not even go too far out of Nigeria, even within our state here. You see children being subjected to certain, with their human rights being trampled upon because they're being brought from their homes outside certain states to serve as servants, maids to individuals. How do we get that information? How do we know this? How do we know that a child of 11 years old, 7 years old is being brought to a madam to work as a maid? How do we know this?
You see, that is exactly my question. which you've left unanswered.
I answered the question, but you do not want to understand where I'm coming from. This is how we know it's from investigating. But I'm not going to do it. Hold on.
Investigation.
You want me to tell you how I investigate and get my information? I just give them an idea by having a conversation with people.
Okay.
But the thing is,
can I help answer the question?
You want to help me answer my question? Please go ahead and answer the question.
It is, if not impossible, to know somebody's intention of leaving his own country. This is a matter of somebody who has, he wants to leave. Some persons, they leave the country and you don't know. Do you understand? Just like you said, they promise you this, they promise you that, and you leave.
Oh, so
and is the minister of Foreign Affairs supposed to know?
So I answer the question.
Let me random.
Okay.
Is the Minister of Foreign Affairs supposed to intrude into the mind of these persons that they don't have any intention of even leaving the country, neither do they have intention of coming back to Nigeria again?
Oh wow!
Yes, he's not supposed to have such. How is he supposed to have such information? Now, what I'm saying is that there are citizens who are in these crisis-intensified places like Iran, Israel, UAE and all that. These citizens, many of them, like you said, are there illegally. And we still need to protect them. Do you understand? All the government needs to do is to, look out for modalities to retrieve information. And that is why they say, we are yet to hear them, hear from them. If I know that, yes, a Nigerian who as at January last year or December last year went to Iran to do one or two business and he passed through the normal procedure. Yes, I have his record. But what about the person who did not pass through the normal procedure? Yes.
I mean, we say Nigerians, we don't even care whether they got there legally. You're diverting. No, at this point, human life is at stake. How they got there does not matter. It's a Nigerian life at stake. How they got there does not matter. What matters most is bringing them back home safe and sound. You don't agree?
Matters like this.
No, I
agree.
Okay.
Listen, matters like this are easily said than done. Do you understand me? Matters like this, we easily know how to get away with say things and all that, and we don't know how these things are being done.
And is that not why we put them there to ensure
that is what I'm saying.
That is what
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if there are persons who the Nigerian Foreign Affairs Authority have their detail and their information, they are going for those persons as well. Now there are also persons that are there without the legal processes. These persons too need to also raise an alarm and inform the government that they need to that the government need to come to their rescue as well. I don't know if you understand me. So we are not saying that these persons are not being cared for. They are cared for. Evacuating them from those countries are very important, but we need to know this person. Okay. And these are the modalities that the government is putting in place. Do you understand me?
All right. I'm trying to understand you. Senate on Monday cleared former lawmaker representing Rivers Southeast Senatorial District, Magnus Abbey, for appointment as chairman of the board of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. Abbey, a political ally of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, was screened by the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources before receiving the approval of the lawmakers. The committee, chaired by Senator Eteng Jonah Williams, who represents Cross Rivers Central Senatorial Districts, screened nominees forwarded by President Bola Tinubu for appointments as chairman and non-executive commissioners of the commission. In line with the Senate's tradition for former lawmakers appearing for confirmation, Abbey was asked to take a bow and go, having served 2 terms in the National Assembly. Speaking with journalists shortly after his appearance before the committee in room 117, Abbey said the surge in global oil prices triggered by tensions involving Iran and the United States presents both challenges and opportunities for Nigeria. Responding to questions on the impact of the escalating global crisis on Nigerians' fuel prices, Abe described the situation as a worldwide challenge rather than a purely Nigerian problem. Before I go to the qualifications of, Senator Magnus Abe, I want to know why we like making this, we make these excuses that, as far as I'm concerned, it's excuses, because I think something can be done, maybe not everything, but something can be done about our oil prices or our fuel situation in Nigeria if, again, the government had been proactive in their reasoning, in their measures, in their procedures, in their policies, right? We don't wait for something to happen before we handle it. I mean, that's why we have experts in place. They are supposed to foresee. They're supposed to see ahead, and then find solutions just in case, if they should go this way, if this should happen. What can we do to mitigate it, to ensure that the people who put their trust in us, the people who are trusting us to represent their needs, are properly protected? So if we keep making the excuses that, oh, it's not a Nigerian problem, it's a global crisis, are we not making excuses for, we're not making excuses for our lack of foresight?
First of all, before I respond to you, I will want to use this opportunity to congratulate His Excellency, distinguished Senator Magnus Abe, the Chairman Designate of the Nigerian Upstream and Petroleum Resource. Abe is known for his wisdom. In fact, watching the screening live yesterday made me realize that, I thought Abe's wisdom was undermined, or is undermined. I didn't know that the Senate, also have taken cognizance of this man and his wisdom. And President on the other end, haven't, bestowed such trust on him. We also thank him, and we believe that he's going to work assiduously to the progress of the board that he's appointed. So on behalf of the Progressive Student Network, I want to say a huge congratulations to Senator Magnus Abe. And responding to your question, or to your statement, most importantly, I want to make you understand that this issue of oil and a global crisis is not a lie. It's not a political statement. It's not a mere statement. It is something that is happening in your very before. You see, when we fail to read, we fail to research, we fail to find out the causes of certain issues, certain economic issues, we exaggerate, blame the government, and affiliate everything to politics, and politicians being politicians. So this matter of oil price hike and all that is not a Nigerian problem. It's a global challenge. And it is not just affecting Nigeria, just as Senator Abe has said. It's not just affecting Nigeria, it's affecting so many other countries, so many other much more developed. In fact, it's affecting UAE, it's affecting Saudi Arabia, it's affecting France, it's affecting Spain, it's affecting even Iran in question. Do you understand me? So it's not just like it's affecting India. Every country that exports or imports oil is being affected by this crisis. Do you understand? So stating that the oil hike and fuel hike and the whole problem on the oil sector is not, that is not a Nigerian problem. It's true. It's true. Do you understand? For example, Dangote refinery, we have a refinery in the country. Dangote refinery, produces, I think they need about, they say about 15 to 20 barrels of oil to produce per day. And the Nigerian oil reserve cannot give Dangote refinery up to that number of barrels. We need to import some. This is not just only about Nigeria. Other countries also do it. Some other countries that also have crude oil, they they make use of the ones they have, then they import some other, then to help stabilize the whole system. So at the end of the day, the place where this oil is coming from, the channel through which this oil is coming from to flow around any other country is being blocked or barricaded. It's definitely going to affect every single country that this on oil, and that is exactly what I've been saying. So it's not a Nigerian problem. Do you understand? It's not like I hear people say how the fight between Iran and Israel, how is it affecting Nigeria? I begin to laugh because I don't blame them, because they seem not to read, they seem not to research, they just want to blame the government.
Okay, I get where you're coming from.
Yes.
I get it. I mean, it's understandable. It's a global issue.
Yes.
But I think you missed out on my point.
Yes.
Which was that, yes, we understand situations such as this can always come up, right? But that's why we have experts in positions to see into the future, to, I'm not saying guesswork, but basically they do their research, and due to data collected, they're able to foresee certain issues coming up. And then these countries, what do? They put measures in place to mitigate the effect on this other people. Like I also previously pointed out, I'm not saying that the administration can totally solve our issue right now, because like we mentioned, it's a global issue.
Yes.
But the government can put certain measures in place if they had foreseen it, and ensure that it does not hit so badly on the people. Remember, the people are just coming to terms with our full subsidy removal. Okay, they've just come to accept the situation. And just when they've come to accept the current economic realities, this also happens. I mean, is the federal government not supposed to have foreseen this? Like, okay, now that we've removed full subsidy, should an issue such as this happen, how do we ensure that the people do not suffer unnecessarily?
Okay.
That's my question. That's my thinking. I'm thinking about how to because listen. Like Abdul rightfully pointed out, this serves as an opportunity and also a challenge to Nigeria.
Yes.
We export oil just as much as we import, right?
Yes.
Or even we export more than even we import. Let's take it that way. So as the price of fuel has gone up on the market, or crude has gone up on the market, that means that more money coming into the coffers of the government. Yes or no?
How?
You asking me how?
Yeah.
Oh, you know how? So you understand how it works?
No.
And I'm actually enjoying
how do you export?
Hold on.
No, how do you export?
Hold on.
How do you import?
Let me finish.
There's a problem.
Hold on. Let me finish. Are you aware that as of now, Nigeria has taken leave, or we've received crude supply and oil supply? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Wait. No, hold on. Don't get too excited. You're too excited for my liking. Calm down. I'm just saying, but no, are you trying to tell me that as the global price of oil has gone up, it's not more money into the Nigerian pockets? Yes or no? Yes or no, King? No, it's a yes or no answer. Like Margaret Abbey rightfully pointed out, this serves as an opportunity and also a challenge to us. But let's look at the opportunity.
Let me respond to you.
I've not asked my question. You can't respond if I've not asked my question.
No.
Are we not at an advantage right now?
You need my response, right?
Yes, I need your response.
Beautiful. Now listen to me. First of all, this is why it is important for you or for us to know people that are meant for every position. You understand? Abe was once a member of the I think one of the oil agencies in Nigeria, and the president in his wisdom saw this man as somebody who is capable, who is reliable, and who is visionary to pilot the affairs of the upstream petroleum resource. And that is why Abe is there. Do you understand? And he has given us a glimpse of what it means for him to be there by stating that it is an opportunity. Do you understand me? So now, it's also not just an opportunity, it's also a problem. because we are not just the oil exporting country, we are also importing. Because that will take the final
we've already stated the disadvantaged Nigerians. We said we are blaming the Nigerian government when it's a global crisis. France is facing it, India is facing it. We've seen the problem. Now I'm talking about opportunity.
Yes.
Before we took our time to discuss the problems and what's not. Now the opportunity, and I'm asking the opportunity part. How is the government going to ensure
that is why
that the
Abe is
people?
There now.
That's why Abe is there now.
Yes.
Okay.
To answer and to help, maximize these opportunities.
Okay.
Do you understand me? And before you round up, I would want to make you understand that. Yes, and everybody to understand that this oil crisis or this oil problem, haven't known that it's not just a Nigerian problem. There is basically no way that it will be solved personally by the Nigerian government. Do you understand? Because
I'm not even asking Nigerian government to solve the global oil issue. We're talking about them mitigating the hardship, the economic hardship. This is bringing to Nigerians. We are just coming to terms that we will no longer have fuel subsidy removal.
Yes.
Now, like I asked, if the government had been proactive, they should have asked Yes, it should have asked certain questions. Okay, now that we no longer have we have removed fuel subsidy from the people, should we, in the unforeseeable future, should a situation like what's happening now should emerge, how do we mitigate costs for the people? Because like we also said, it's an opportunity and also a challenge for the federal government. Why should the people only suffer the challenges? Why are we not all from the opportunities as well? But you are unable to answer. You said that's why we have Magnus Abe in power now. So hopefully you'll be able to resolve that for the people, right?
Listen. Yes, I said that, and that is very much correct.
All right.
And in this kind of terrifying situation, we should be much more interested in, just like you said, there is an import of crude now in the country, and that is going to help the people benefit from the lack of or the fuel scarcity that we're having, or the hike in not fuel scarcity, actually the hike in fuel prices. That is going to help, and that's going to benefit you. You can't say that for the people to benefit, they need to, the government need to share some money or do whatever. How would the government do this? It is by ensuring that there is the supply of fuel at
what cost?
Listen,
the supply, this fuel that came in, if we're going to look at it from your from the way you're putting it, the fuel that came in now, due to the hardship, the economic hardship, and the hike in fuel prices globally, don't you think that fuel outlets are going to take advantage and still hike? What I'm expecting is price regulation. I'm not asking the federal government to give out, handouts to the people. Nigerians, if not for anything, are hardworking people.
Yes.
Okay, they're hardworking people and they can make their own money. But what we need are policies in place that making that money easier for the people.
Okay.
Policies making sure that the money that we work very hard for. I'm not debating. No, you said something. But my point is this: what what I was expecting is price regulation. The fuel coming in, at what cost will it be to the people?
No, Antonio, listen. We can't be going to price regulation.
Because
no, we can't be going there now.
Okay.
We can't be going there now. There is a pending crisis.
But you said the federal government cannot share the opportunities to people by giving them handouts. Can they, in a way, substitute cost for the people?
Calm down.
I mean, it's still our resources, is it not? Is it not our resources?
No, listen to me. Listen. You need to listen. We can't be talking about price regulation of fuel prices now, because there is an existing issue that is affecting the exportation, the importation, and the whole process of refining this crude. Okay. Do you understand me? So when we talk about crude, or what we are much more interested at is to ensure that every Nigerian has fuel to operate with, and maybe at a kind of a moderate range. Do you understand me? And that is what the government is doing. That is what the government, much more better than so many other countries. Okay. Do you understand? Fuel price as of today has doubled in so many countries, like Dubai. It's affecting US. It's affecting so many other countries, and we are managing our situations appropriately, or managing our situation very well. And the whole process of bringing in this crude is not dependent on only on Nigerian oil markets. It's on the global oil market, and it's affecting the global oil market. So it's affecting Nigeria as well, and we are trying our best by importing or bringing more crude to the country to also help curb the situation within our own context. But talking about the price in the global market, it's not going to be an easy one for the Nigerian government.
Okay.
Yes.
And understandable. National Public Service Negotiating Council has demanded 154,000 naira minimum wage, 120% upward review of salaries and allowances for public workers in Nigeria to mitigate what it described as the life of servitude currently being experienced in the country. The demand, which was contained in a letter addressed to the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation dated March 12, 2026, with reference number JNPSNC/Gen/Call/Volume 1/163 titled Urgent Need for the Upward Review of Salaries and Allowances of Workers in the Nigerian Public Service and Commendation for the Approval of Gratuity Payment to Retiring Workers. The letter was jointly signed by the National Chairman, JNPSNC, Benjamin Anthony, and the National Secretary, Olowoyo Benga. The JNPSNC trade union size premised its demand on the outcome of an exhaustive meeting held on Monday, March 9, 2026, at the Okra National Secretariat, Wuse Zone 4, Abuja Federal Capital Territory. The letter stated that inter alia, the national leadership of Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council rise to respectfully but firmly call the attention of its esteemed office to the urgent necessity of an upward review of salaries and allowances of all 7 public servants in the Nigerian public service. The council noted that over the years, Nigeria has experienced unprecedented economic pressures characterized by high inflation, increased fuel prices, rising transportation costs, and escalating prices of food items, housing, healthcare, and education. I mean, it's a whole lot, it's a mouthful, but we basically have a picture of the current economic hardship faced by the people. We were just now arguing about the hike in fuel prices, which is going to translate into transportation, which is going to also translate into the high cost of living in Nigeria. Now, currently our minimum wage is 70,000, give or take. Not even every company or every that is ordered, maybe the civil servants are enjoying that, but not everybody's enjoying that. But we are all enjoying the economic hardship. Do you think it's right that these individuals are calling for an upward review of our current minimum wage?
Right from time, we've seen pressure groups, trade union, the JNPC and all that. We've seen them call for the increment of minimum wage, and they are not out of place. You understand? And what I have to say is that is why we need to give the renewed hope, opportunity to, fix so many of these things. It is in this administration that we have noticed a rapid increase in the minimum wage. Before, the minimum wage used to be 33,000. Today, it's now 70,000. In fact, the president has made it a must that it used to be some states will pay, some will not pay, just like that, inconsistency. But we have noticed that everybody is enjoying the minimum wage. So, having made such improvement, I believe there will be more economic improvement. Yes, everything is affecting should I say the recent fuel hike and all that, and that is why the president has taken other measures to help, solve these economic issues. And one of those measures, I think, the introduction of May Fund, the introduction of tricycles, as what's it called, City Boy tricycle in most of our federal institutions, can also help students. It's an economic reform. I don't know what else we want to call economic reform, where we have things that can also help you boycott some expenses that you are supposed to make. I don't know if you are getting me. So calling on increments in national minimum wage, you are correct. But I think we should allow the president, to get this fixed. Maybe during the second term or before that time.
Okay. It's admirable how you try to. I don't know whether it's campaigning for.
No, don't say campaigning. No, don't say campaigning.
It's not campaigning.
No.
It sounds like it though.
No, don't say campaign. I'm trying to point out.
I feel right. Instead of we making everything political, we should make it more governance. We should make it like governance for the people.
That is what it is.
I mean, we know it goes hand in hand, but I prefer if we would focus more on governing the people than looking at the political side of situation. Okay, these people were entrusted by Nigerians to put their needs first, to ensure they receive the dividends of democracy.
Yes.
Those people were put in offices, and it's not just APC alone. Yes, APC is the current administration, but we also have the Labour Party, we have the PDP. It does not matter what political party they are from. As long as you've been elected into office, irrespective of your political affiliation, are you not meant to give the people the dividends of their democracy? Must it be one administration? Can't it be other administration? Or can't we have a collaborative effort between these political parties to ensure that the people of Nigeria are living the way they're meant to
now,
be?
Talking about the APC as a political party, and what the APC is doing to give the people the dividends of democracy. I will mention a few.
Why are you trying to make it seem like it's one political party? I just mentioned that we have a collaborative effort between political parties, because we're talking about governance here and not politics.
Okay.
Nigerians are suffering. And I'm sure Nigerians not just vote for APC. We have Labour Party 7 as a local government chairman. They are meant to give the dividends of democracy to the people. We have an APC 7 as a governor of a state. They are meant to give the people democracy as a
I'm speaking.
Sorry. So why are you relying heavily on APC
I have to
alone?
speak for what I know. I have to speak for the people I know. Do you understand?
Okay.
I have to speak for. Sorry, I'm putting you under tension, but I have to.
You cannot put me under tension. But continue.
I have to speak for what I know. Do you understand me? Yes, I have to speak for the government I know that is doing what they are supposed to do.
Okay.
Antonia, do you know that for the past 3 years, I can vividly tell you that we've not had ASU strike. We've not had ASU strike, yes. For the how many years we've not had a situation where there are inconsistency in paying salaries and all that. So the Renew Home family is trying, and they are putting everything possible to make sure that the dividends of democracy is being given to the people. And today we have the city boy movement in the country, and they are doing very well. Even in the state, we are doing very well, and we believe that when we are given the next opportunity, we'll do better. Thank you.
Okay, I wish Nigerians the very best. Thank you very much, King, for making all the time. Okay, this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Blowout. We're open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can also connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X at Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.Atlantic Television Network 1. Remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Open conversation comes up shortly. Please don't go away. Thank you for watching. I am Antonia Asabel.